Hey guys, Video with Tank Slings here. Today we're going to go over slings. This is a sling channel. My name is The Sling Guy, and it's kind of a failure on my part to not talk about slings after so long. You know, got a little caught up in the T7 videos, which we will be having one pretty soon here. But yeah, we're going to go over slings. I am the owner of Tank Slings, and I am the guy that makes all the slings like you see here. I make these in, I think, 32 colors now. So check me out. My Instagram is @TangSlangs, and you can find my website there. And if you want to save a little money, just DM me on Instagram, and you know, I'll get you squared away. So we'll go over how to hook up a sling, different sling options like attachment points, and then also the tri-glides and whatnot. So get right into it. With a sling, you have maybe like 2 or 3 main attachment points. All right, you got these QD swivels, and then you have these HK style snap hooks. All right, and so the main difference between these two is that, you know, this one has a little clippy thing. So you just slide this onto, you know, whatever goes onto your stock or your foregrip, and then this plugs into your QD slots. All right. We got some different tri-glides. So we got this one, which is a metal one, and we got this plastic BFG type, and then we also have this Nexus ITW style, and this is the one that I primarily use. Simply because when you're dealing with straps and everything, right, webbing, these don't really go under much stress, because all it does is pinch, you know, one piece of webbing with another piece, like such, right? So whenever you're pulling on this, the forces are you know, up and down, right? Because this piece of webbing is pushing down on the middle of the tri-glide, but that's not really much tension. All right, so that's what holds your swivels in. Now, other than that, I mean, well, you know, preferences on these. I'd just say get the one that fits your sling, right? So say you run a BFG sling like this. Now the webbing is a little thicker than, say, the Cordura True Lock that I use, right, by 1/4 inch. And so you'll want like the thicker tri-glides. Now, you know, if you're not making your own sling, these will come with them already. You know, like the BFG, these come with like 4 of these, so there's that. I say we go over how a padded sling should be. All right, so on your normal padded sling, you have, you know, your main part, which is your webbing. Now, some people do the unpadded slings, which is just this the whole way through, right? And I mean, this is fine. Like, it'll carry what you want it to carry. But, you know, if you're looking for some comfort, and say, you know, you're walking around with your sling for more than 4 hours a day, 8 hours a day, and you want some, you know, padding, then, you know, you go with a padded sling like mine, or BFG's, or, you know, Pharaoh's, any company that makes padded slings. And so pretty much you have your foam, and then the sling webbing goes on top, like such, right? And then the webbing goes over you. So the foam is in between the webbing and yourself, and that way all the forces is on the foam first and then on your body. So that's how a sling is. Oh, and then you got your fabric on top. So makes it look nice and cool. Put that aside for now. And all right, so there are a couple different ways that slings are made. You have the two-way pull, as I like to call them, where it goes like this, and then it goes this way, and then all you need to do is pull this little tab. that was a GBRS given to me by a friend. And as you can see, it is a little thin on the foam side. Minimalist, as some people like to call it, but it's a sling, it's padding. It's not really going to be bulky because the thing is, once there's weight on the webbing and the foam, it's going to conform to your body. So here we have a BFG sling. I used this one in the Marine Corps for quite a while. And I mean, this one's tried and true. Everybody uses this. So same thing, single tab, push and pull. And then you have your LBT VTAC type one-way pull sling. And so this is my personal tank sling. And so by one way, I mean this little sewn tab right here. You pull and your sling gets tight. And then this handle here, you pull and your sling gets loose. All right, so I've gone on a couple rifles with my slings, and you know, I'll show you how they actually work on your body. But you know, just to show you different types. And I'll go over the pros and cons too, right? So with this type, it takes a little bit more brain power to function, because there's two things going on that you need to, you know, be conscientious of when you're working on these slings, right? So pull, and you pull this to loosen. Whereas, you know, BFG slings, this is all you need to worry about, right? Now, the good thing about the one-way pull slings is that these are faster. You don't have to fight with a weird tension that these have, because the thing is, these are a loop, you know, so you're fighting this. Maybe not when you release it, like such. There's a little bit more friction than, say, a one-way pull. But especially when you're tightening it, you really gotta add some more, you know, pressure to make this go. Now, if you're in a rush, you know, what if you're pulling it and then your hand slips? I mean, you know, I don't know how sweaty your hands get when you shoot, but you know, this one, it's quick. It just releases, right? And then you also have this plastic one. So this one is also like a ESD style. You have the plastic glide, and so these are pretty okay. However, there are reports of, you know, these snapping over time because it's plastic, which understandable, right? And then some slings also have, so I call this the anchor, right? Because you have two pieces of webbing. And so this is the anchor that holds together your two pieces of webbing, your sling, right? So some slings have this as plastic, and if you have that, then that's another failure point. But some have a welded metal loop. I don't mind the welded loops. They're not too bad, but again, they're a circle and they're welded in like one area, right? So if you pull enough, it'll form. And so my slings, I do have another video where I'm hanging off of the sling. I mean, this is just like one metal piece. I should have brought out another one to show you guys, but I mean, this is the anchor. The anchor is the quick release buckle itself, right? So this isn't really gonna wear as fast as, say, a welded loop or a tri-glide that some people use for their slings. All right, so that's over with. I'll put these away, and then we're gonna demonstrate, you know, just the difference between these two-way pulls and my one-way pull. We'll start with rifle here. So, rifle, clear. All right, so I like to use the QD swivels because it's easy. Magpul has those slots in your stock that you can just, you know, push them out and then push them back in. Real nice. And then this is my Marpat, Force Marpat. Tank slings, and then in the front here you also have a QD. So, you know, with these CAC rifles, you have two QD points, right? So if you want to run it close or run it far, The difference between the two is that, say, you know, you want your gun out of your way faster, you run it back here, because then this much will be away from your body, whereas if you bring it up close or further away from you, this will be closer to your body than, say, back here. I'll demonstrate that. Took off some of the accessories just so I can navigate it a little bit easier on camera, but pretty much here it is. Right? And so the reason why I personally like it being up here is because I can put my forearm on it and crank on it and get that tension to push the sling tighter to my body, right? It'll push up against my shoulder and my back, and it'll bring the gun closer to me. That way I have a more stable platform, right? Whereas, say you removed it and put it up close, I mean, I can tighten the sling a little bit, but I can't really get as much torque, whereas if it was further out, right? But this, the benefit of this is that since it's closer here, you know, it'll hang a little bit easier because it's closer to your waist. Whereas if this was further away from you, like such, then this webbing goes like, I don't know, further down, you see. So just something to play with. I personally like this, and that way I can use this for standing or kneeling. It gives me a more stable platform to work with. And so, you know, you saw before that this is how I actuate my sling, right? So I just find the tab and then tighten it, and that's that. Whereas when you loosen it to get out of it, there's that too. So since I only have a couple QD swivels and not enough ready guns, we're gonna unsling this, or we're gonna clip this two-way GBRS sling with the plastic slider onto the swivels on my tank sling. And it's gonna look funky because it's gonna have two slings on it, but we'll make it work. Alright, here we go. Alrighty, so I didn't adjust this before starting the video, but it's pretty good where it is. Now I like to keep the stock end of the stock short, right? The webbing is super short on my BFG sling. I rubber band it. Sometimes I also electrical tape it or medical tape it and just wrap this excess up. That way it's not flopping all around. But on this GBRS sling, since I don't use it, I don't have anything on it. But you know, I usually keep the start of the fabric of your padded sling on your collarbone. That's a good place for you to, you know, start adjusting your sling, right? And your stock is near your collarbone as well, right? That way, when you raise your gun, your stock's already on your shoulder. And so, with this two-way pull, you know, you gotta kind of follow through with it, and it will give your arm, I don't know, a little weirder spot. So, I mean, not too bad. It is, this one is nicer, but it is also plastic. So, you know, you give up a little bit of longevity with that, but it's still pretty fast, you know, just a little trade-off here and there. And then here, BFG sling that I've used a while now, with some HK snap hooks. That's what I'm using to clip onto my Magpul QD or my QD swivels. So this is it at its tightest. You know, I'm gonna use this for a bit. The BFG Sling, and it's, you know, it'll do. But you see that right there where I tighten it? I have to fight this weird tension to get it to tighten up. So, you know, just some considerations. I mean, if you want to really get super fast, then I would consider using the one-way pull, right? Because you don't need to fight no tension. There's the side and hydrator die. All right, so what else we got? We have these BFG big loops, I think they're called, or universal wire loops. That's it. Yep, universal wire loops. And so I like these because, you know, they have this coated wire that you can literally loop onto anywhere. So that, or say you want to loop it onto your hand guard. This is one of the new Genesis Arms Gen 12s. And I just got a short barrel shotgun. I could have looped this into the stock, but I like the play that this gives. That way it's not as stiff. And so, throw my sling out. There's that. And so this one I didn't follow as much because, you know, this gun's kind of short, right? So with a shorter gun, you need a little bit extra length on your stock. That way you can get a full sling on it, because if not, then it'll get really tight really fast. So there's that. All right, and then we'll jump into a long gun. I see a lot of people not slinging their long guns because, you know, they're just shooting on a bench, and that's absolutely fine. However, if you want to get somewhere, or you're hiking, or, you know, you're hunting, I mean, this is not a hunting gun by any means, but you can sling your rifle like that. Now this I keep up, you know, really high because I have a suppressor on, so I don't want that to drag on the floor. But, you know, not too bad. Loosen it real quick. And there you go. Right. And so with this, I mean, you're not really going to be standing up and shooting with a bolt action rifle, but that is a possibility. So, say you had a 2-point sling and you wanted to run it as a submachine gun or PDW sling, right? But you didn't want to buy another sling. Well, you get 2 of these HK style hooks, and they both have little holes in there. Clip one into the other one, and there's your modified 2-point into a single point. Tighten this up. And so with this hook, you can hook into a little spot like this MP5 or SP5. And there you have it, single point sling, right? And so I like single point slings for PDW style guns because, I mean, it's just faster, in my opinion, than saying a 2-point sling where, you know, you have one here and this webbing's like up in your face, and then the front of it is on this hook, on this gas block, right? Or front side post. And then you're fighting to get to the charging handle. You know, it's just not as ideal. And also, you can move a lot quicker with it. And then, a little sneak peek for you guys. Some of you will throw up, but I don't really care. It's my channel. You can also run the single point sling on a PDW like this. If I can clip it on. One second here. And so I have a Fortis manufacturing little QD hole. And plug that in like that. And then boom, there you go. I am ready to 360 no scope some people with my Time-Built T7 if I can get to run for more than one mag. But yeah, we'll be doing some long range with this, hopefully. Long range as in 200-300 yards. We try to, you know, send it out to 1,000, but I think the drop is pretty heavy on the 4.6 cartridge, so we won't be doing any of that. I mean, maybe we'll do 500. We'll see, right? But there it is. That's how you run a sling. If you don't know how to attach a point to a sling, then here you go, ready? So you have your tri-glide, and don't worry about this. You have your attachment point. Put your attachment point towards the bottom, so away, and then hook this over on top, and then over. And that's how you hook that up, and then you plug this into your sling, or your rifle. So yeah, there you have it, guys. That's how you run a sling. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. Maybe I'll reply, maybe not. Who knows? Thank you for tuning in. Remember to grow your hair out and donate it if you can. If not, you know, just be a nice person and rock on.